sun, burning love cause we are young. No one tells us what's done wrong, cause it's just me and you. Yeah, it's just me and you. Hold you on the ground, make your eyes roll out. Kiss me all around, baby, do you like the sound of my wasted love? Wasted love, of my wasted love. Hold you on the ground, make your eyes roll out. Kiss me all around, baby, do you like the sound of my wasted love? Wasted love, just my wasted love. It's just me and you. Oh, yeah, it's just me and you.
I just can't let you go. Lord knows that I've tried to. You said I was the only one. No one likes being lied to. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I wanna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus, I can't forget.
Did they miss us? Do you think they missed us?
Copyright-free music for the win, everybody. For those of you listening to the show, you just heard our awesome intro designed by yours truly. Parker Ray is always with me. Parker, how are you, man?
Oh, I'm doing good. I am doing good. Sent a couple kids to the office today and made a lot of enemies, and I'm sure future haters of Parker Ray are going to grace the streets eventually. But hey, I'm making friends.
Your tweet about, you're a good sub when the kids start getting pissed
Oh
off.
yeah,
They
were
when
talking.
you walk in.
Yesterday, I walk in, a kid literally says, "Oh, not you again," right to my face. I love that. I feed off of it now. I used to not like it. I used to, believe it or not, guys, I used to care what people thought about me, and I used to watch what I said. I was very careful with my words, but now I'm even worse. I'm worse than ever now. So, yeah, this has actually fueled me in probably a bad way, but I'm fine with it.
Welcome everybody to the 1203. If this is your first time watching, Longtime podcast, Parker Ray, myself, Reed Graff have been doing. And we have a very exciting guest on the show, a longtime friend of ours. But before I bring him on, I want to introduce something to you, Parker. Something that I stumbled upon this week that I had seen some clips
Are you
of, but
okay? You stumbled.
Oh, I stumbled very hard. Have you heard
Okay.
of a baseball team called the Savannah Bananas? Have you heard of them?
I've heard of banana hammocks in Savannah, Georgia. I think those are the same things.
So do you enjoy watching the Harlem Globetrotters?
I did. As a kid, I actually was in the Harlem Globetrotters.
So the Savannah Bananas are basically the Globetrotters of baseball. And it's
okay.
It is amazing.
So they
Like,
shoot
you
a lot
really
of crazy
need-
shots.
You need to check it out. They'll play. They're the baseball team that was the first one to play a full baseball game in kilts.
Oh, that's
That was
actually pretty
them.
funny.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
That's pretty cool.
They played this whole. They have a whole different style of game where every inning has its own like run set. So like you want to win the inning, and every inning that you win is then a point toward the total. So you're trying to win the inning so that you can then get the point, and whoever wins the most innings wins the game. They call it banana ball. It's wildly entertaining. I spent like 4 hours the other day just binging.
And I
Savannah
need to
Banana
watch that.
Ball.
I legit need to watch that. And yeah, I don't think it might even be better than the Harlem Globetrotters, because the Harlem Globetrotters, they always play the Washington Generals and they always win. The games are never close.
Well, these
Pisses me off.
play. I forget what the name of the team is, like the Rowdy Ramblers or something.
The Generals could
But
win
they'll
one
also
game.
play. So they're a college team. They hire they get college kids, and they'll play some of those collegiate baseball teams that are around, the summer collegiate teams. I don't know. Thought it was entertaining for
That's
those
pretty
of you
cool.
listening.
I'll
check
check
out
it
the
out.
Savannah Bananas. Let's bring on
Don't
our
let Rob
guest.
Manfred see that. Don't
Oh,
let
don't
Rob
let
Manfred
Rob.
see
He'll
that,
ruin it.
because that'll end up being the minor leagues.
Okay, we're gonna test kilts in single A this year. You just heard the voice of Andrew Zimmel. He is a longtime podcaster. He's a fellow Bobcat from Texas State. That's where we met him, working at KTSW 89.9. He is one of the most entertaining guys that I have worked with in the sports media business. He is currently basically a Canadian. He's like right next door and living up in North Dakota, working at a radio station up there. Andrew Zimmel, everybody.
Oh, I know. Yeah, woo.
Our
Canada,
giant crowd
baby.
clapping for you. How you been, man?
I'm surviving. It's when I got up here, I moved up here about a month ago, and it was 40 below. So I woke up this morning and it was only, I think, 13, and it felt like summer. I was like ready to wear a t-shirt outside. I was ready to go. I now have it like down to a science how early or like how late I can start my car and like start defrosting it. So I'm ready. I'm good to go up here. I figured it out. Long johns 24/7. I don't think I've been naked maybe more than like 10 minutes my entire time up here. The first day I took a shower and I forgot to take my socks off because it was so cold.
Wow.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough
Your
to be
gas
up here.
bills must be through the roof, unless you've got an electric.
Well, yeah, no. So I'm an electric, and I got my first electric bill, and it was $100. So now I'm just tripling up the sweaters in my house. I come in, and I'm like, it's colder inside than it is outside, I think.
That sounds
Gotta-
like torture, to be honest. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
I
a
know.
cold-natured guy, but I ain't doing that.
It builds character.
There's a lot of jobs up there in the North and South Dakotas, though. You go through Indeed Sports Media, that's pretty much all you find.
Nobody else wants to be up here. I don't get it. You know, I saw it as an opportunity. Some people just they don't like it. They don't want the chance. I guess I don't get it.
Well, it looks like you've got a fan club in the comment section. Brendan Snow, the president of the Andrew Zimmel Hate Club, said he's checking in. I think we've
Yeah.
got Mark Brown in chat. A lot of great KTSW guys and guys that are doing some good things. But I wanted to ask you, because it's such an interesting story. We had another guy that went up to the Dakotas not too long ago. You know who I'm talking about. And, it's got to be such a culture shift to go from Bandera, Texas, and then of the hill country, San Marcos, Texas, where it's gorgeous, 9 times out of 10, and then you're in the Dakotas, and you drive up there overnight in like a snowstorm, right?
Yeah. I drove up here right when that cold front was hitting Texas. So when I was driving through Abilene, there was frozen stuff on the ground. That was the first time I saw like frozen hard ground. By the time I got to Oklahoma and Kansas, there was a little bit of snow, but really it was pretty bad when I got to South Dakota. When I got to South Dakota, it was about 5 a.m. And I don't know if you guys have driven on snow before. It was the first time I had driven on snow, and I was trying to make a right turn and woo, 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 spun out.
Oh,
And it was like me, a snowbank, and like a 15-foot drop. And I got stuck in the snowbank. And I was like, this is awful. And I sat in my car for like 10 minutes, and your entire dashboard's lit up when your car spins out. So I turn my car off. I get out, wind's blowing. I felt like I was like in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in like those really
Great movie.
cool scenes.
Was
Yeah,
it stop motion?
it was. It was stop motion.
Okay,
And
just had to make sure.
some guy in a pickup truck stopped and said, "You can't be out here. There's a blizzard coming." And I said, "Well, can you help me get my car out?" And he said, "Start your car and just try to drive." And I just
That's
inched
great
out.
advice.
Just
That is
inched
great
out, and
advice.
I followed him for, I don't know, like 10, 15 minutes before I got to a gas station / casino / like hot wings spot. And I
Ooh,
I
hot wings.
slept there for an hour in the casino till I could make the rest of the trek up to North Dakota.
I think you're gonna have to pin that location. That
Near-
you're gonna have to pin that to Parker. He needs to go to that location.
blazing a trail. Oh yeah, I like at least the trucker was very helpful. Start your car and try to drive. I'm sure you didn't think about that before he said it. I'm glad he was able to
It's like
break it
moms
to
at
you.
baseball games saying, "Hey, we should hit. That'd be a good idea. Let's hit
Hey,
the
yeah,
ball."
swing
Didn't
the
think of
bat,
that,
hit the
Mom.
ball. Hey,
Yeah.
sometimes you don't think about that stuff. You have to simplify your brain. It's Dakota. Everything works. Don't worry about it. Just drive. Just shut your brain off and drive.
This is the last like North Dakota story I'll tell you. I got up here on a Thursday. Friday morning, I went out to my car. I opened my door, and the hood light didn't come on, or the lamp on top. And I was like, "Uh-oh, this isn't good." Turn my key, nothing. I took it to Napa. It's the first battery they've ever seen completely frozen solid. My battery from
Wow.
Texas froze solid. Yeah, I didn't know that could happen.
Yeah.
But I got a new battery, so I'm good to go.
You got
baby.
a Dakota battery this time. A
Mhm.
Got one of the
Dakota,
Dakota batteries.
freeze-proof battery.
Dakota
I want to
strong.
take notes from Dakota. Texas needs to take notes from Dakota because if it was like that in Texas, we still wouldn't have power.
Yeah,
So I'm
what's-
glad you have power at least.
What's funny is that they think I'm crazy because it's so cold, and I think they're crazy because if it gets over 80 degrees, they're looking like melted ice pops.
Yeah, they're a bunch
So-
of pussies. Yeah, bunch of pussies now. Yeah, feel that, baby. Yeah,
Roles
you
reversed.
got a
Feel the
little back at
burn.
'em. Yeah, feel the burn, pal.
All right, now let's do what Andrew joined the show to do. Let's talk some sports. I mean, obviously the biggest thing right now in y'all's world. I'm not a basketball guy, so I didn't even know Napas still exist. From Brendan, that's funny. I immediately went to the tone from the commercials. The Napa know-how. That's exactly where my brain went. But March Madness happening right now, and there are two Texas teams in the mix: Baylor and I'm talking men right now. We can get to the ladies.
No, we don't have to.
Oh, come on,
Eh.
man. Dude,
Okay,
Paige will
okay.
cross you up in a heartbeat.
Okay, fine. Cross me up in a heart. Yeah, I know they could. I'm fine. We'll get to the ladies. They'll be after the men. All right.
You see what I deal with, Andrew? This is what I
After
deal
the
with.
men, we can get to the ladies. You're right.
Look,
That's fine.
The Longhorns got bounced out. My Bobcats aren't in it. It's if we hit it or not, I'm good with either way, I guess.
Well, let's talk these two Texas teams, right? I mean, obviously you got Houston facing Baylor, and then it's Gonzaga against UCLA. Correct? Am I right on that?
Yeah, Gonzaga, UCLA. Michigan just went cold from the field. The last 8 shots, they missed the last 8 shots to take the lead. They had plenty of opportunities. I stayed up and watched that game. UCLA was one of the first 4 teams. They weren't even in the bracket yet. They had to beat Michigan State just to get in to the main bracket. So they were a play-in team, and now they're in the Final Four. I don't know if that's ever happened in history. It probably has, but it's probably been a very rare thing that happened. So props to UCLA.
Shaka Smart's VCU, I think, was the last time that a first 4 team got to this point.
Yeah.
Big shout out to them. The plucky underdog UCLA Bruins. The team that only has 11 championships, more than any other college basketball program. It's funny when these like great blue blood programs have a down year, or in UCLA's case, a bunch of down years, and then they get to be the underdog. Like UCLA, I'm rooting for them. I like UCLA. Gonzaga is the other one. They're the plucky underdog right now. They're trying to have this undefeated season, but the minute that they win this title, because I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to be the team that ends up winning it at the end. All of that goodwill will be gone. And next year at this time, we're like, Do we really care about Gonzaga? Like, I
Oh,
mean,
they'll be underdogs again. Yeah, they'll be.
yeah,
They'll go
never
back
be
to
underdog.
just.
That's the thing. Once you win, you're never an underdog again.
Oh,
And you
I
guys
see what you're
know it.
saying.
You
But they
guys
won't.
know it
It
as
won't be as
Astros
cool.
fans.
It won't be as cool. Yeah.
The minute you guys win a title, what is it? The Astros.
Oh, they hate
again?
us.
Come on. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if Gonzaga wins this, which I think that they
Well, Gonzaga, Spaga, whatever. The Catholics, they got their own thing going over there. I'm talking about Baylor and Houston. That's the match. I think Gonzaga is going to wipe the floor with UCLA. I think it's a great story. I just think Baylor. I mean, Gonzaga is going to win. I actually think the Baylor U of H game is going to be very good, close contested. I actually think because the Razorbacks kind of got Baylor a little bit scared there in the second half. They cut it to 4 a couple times. They didn't never take the lead, but they were battling. I think the U of H is a much better team than the Razorbacks are. And I think Kelvin Sampson's got that team believing. And if you look at Houston and you look at LA, UCLA and Houston, both those places have a great benefit to being in a big city because they've got talent. They don't even have to go anywhere for talent. They don't even have to leave their own city to scout and get talent. Most of the players from Houston are actually from the Houston area, and they just came back home. They were off. Quentin Grimes is a kind of a representation of that. Quentin Grimes, one of their best players, played in Kansas, came back home. He's from the Woodlands area, which is like the North Houston area. And he came back, and now he's back home in the Houston area. And now he's talking about how everybody should just, do it for the city of Houston. So I don't know. I have a big faith in Kelvin Sampson if he stays in Houston. I hope he does. But that's the problem is they get good and they leave Houston. But I really hope Kelvin Sampson, he seems invested because he's got his family working there as well. His son, his wife, they're all kind of working with the program. He's really revamped the program. So I'm excited about the game.
In a rare twist for me, I'm rooting for Houston in this one too, but for a different reason than you might expect, Parker. So I'm rooting for Houston because Baylor's nickname this year has been Lob City. They dunk the ball a lot, and I am a strong proponent against Lob City teams winning anything.
Lob City teams.
Yeah, I can't
because your favorite player is Chris Paul, right? You love. Chris Paul.
For sure.
Yeah.
No, I can't. I cannot root for a team
Blake
whose
Griffin's
nickname is Lob City.
He hates Lob
Blake
City.
Griffin's a close number 2. Do you see that he's back apparently? Like he's back in the news. I thought that dude like retired like 8 years ago or something.
Oh man, 8 years ago? Give my guy a break.
Oh, he's your guy now.
Oh yeah, I love
He's
him.
the
He's
king
from
of Lob
Oklahoma.
City.
He's from Oklahoma, so you got to, he reps
Yeah.
Oklahoma. I like that, but
Boomer Sooner.
just the nickname Lob City, I never could get behind it. So I'm rooting for Houston in this one. A Houston Zaga, that would be a really good championship. And I think what would that be? The first time since the great Olajuwon teams.
Well, yeah, the 84, 85. They called it the Phi Slamma Jamma. That was Clyde Drexler, Hakeem Olajuwon. Those guys played for Houston. So, yeah, I'm excited about it. I mean, Houston's obviously that's all they talk about right now is the Houston Cougars. But I really do think the defense is something that Baylor hasn't seen yet. They play defense. They pound the offensive boards like no other team. I mean, I'm seriously just watching this team shoot threes just so they can get an offensive rebound. Like they know they're going to get the rebound. So they get like 3 or 4 offensive rebounds in one possession. And it's not like they're big. They're 6'8", 6'9" guys going in there, pounding the glass, getting rebounds. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that against Gonzaga, but hopefully against Baylor. Baylor's not that big either. Maybe they can get it done.
Well, I want to ask you this.
It's not like they could talk about the Rockets. So,
well,
There's
all
not
right,
much
next
talking about
segment.
there.
What's the next segment, Reed? We're on the next segment.
Well, I want to ask you this. When you obviously they have to win the game, but if you had to pick one of those two, Houston or Baylor, which one gives Gonzaga a better run for their money?
Who, Andrew? Or did you ask Andrew that?
I mean,
I didn't hear who you
y'all are
asked.
the basketball guys.
Both of me, obviously, I think offensively, tit for tat. I haven't really watched a lot of
You just wanted
Gonzaga
to say
because
the word tit. Don't even lie.
I say I love tits, but we're talking about the women's basketball next, right? All right, I'll save it for them. Anyway, I like Baylor as far as the offense. I think they can keep up with Gonzaga. I haven't watched a lot of Gonzaga games. Houston just doesn't score like Baylor scores. So if it does become a shootout, Baylor can score. And honestly, you look at UCLA, they've got a bunch of scorers too. So I think you're looking at the least offensively gifted team. You gotta put Houston at the bottom as far as ability to score points. Most of their games are low scoring. 60-point games, 50, 60. They maybe get into the 70s. It's kind of rare if they do. They play defense. They shut you down. That's what they do. They make every possession hard. So defensively, if it's that type of game, I think Houston wins. But for offense, for scoring points, I think Baylor can just match them. And I think UCLA is going to surprise some people and make it interesting for the first half, and then Gonzaga is probably going to blow them out.
Yeah, I think Houston gives them the better run for their money if it comes down to that. Mostly, I say that because if Houston does make it, my bracket will probably win a lot of bracket pools that I'm in.
So you did pick Houston to beat Baylor. Oh,
I picked Houston to go to the championship game. So I'm
okay.
pretty.
Same here.
Yeah.
I don't know about Gonzaga though. I'm a little worried about that one.
Yeah, no, I picked the Zags to win the whole thing. So I'm hoping for that's the matchup. But I really do like Houston's defense. That's not something that you see a lot in college. Well, you don't see that a lot in the pros. You can't be like, oh, this defense is going to beat this offense.
Yeah.
The other thing is too that I like Houston because they're not a Big 12 team, and I can't have Baylor go to the championship game after Tech just went to the championship game and have all these teams who are supposed to be lesser than the University of Texas in this conference going to championship games. Even if they lose, I don't want that to happen. So
I have been a big advocate for it'll never happen, but the Southwest Conference was stacked, and I missed the Southwest Conference. You had Arkansas, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State for basketball, of course, but U of H, Rice, what's it called? Texas, all the Texas teams pretty much. Texas A&M, Texas Tech, TCU. That was a pretty stacked conference. I kind of miss it, but I don't think it'll ever come back.
You mentioned that Texas. That coaching job's an interesting one. I'm seeing a lot of different names kind of be mentioned there, and I mean, could Kelvin Sampson be a guy that's there? And who do you, as a guy who's a little bit of a UT guy, you know, who do you think's realistic? I mean, maybe Kelvin's a long shot, but I was just throwing a name out there.
Kelvin
please don't Kelvin. Please no Kelvin. I hope he stays.
He seems like a guy that you get if you don't get your other like options. Like I think he's probably like third or fourth, maybe hopefully fifth on a list of coaches that you're going after if you're Texas. Chris Beard would be my number one guy because he's a Longhorn and he's proven to do it. He knows how to recruit in the state. And if your other coach just took Marquette's job, like you need somebody who's going to look at the Texas job as a step up. And I don't know why. I don't know what the deal was, but Shaka could never, ever get Texas teams to play with passion or just like play good defense. And VCU was known for having just everything. They were able to really be a scrappy underdog team. But when you play at Texas, you're never the underdog. You're always the favorite, or you should be at least.
You got to have that mindset.
I mean, Brendan Snow's onto something. If you want Texas to play defense, Danny Casper's your guy.
Yeah, Texas, the school who's getting rid of the eyes of Texas is going to get Danny Casper. That's a match made in heaven. That's
a perfect match.
Casper. Yeah, they did that old boy dirty, didn't they? Oh, Casper. I mean, come on. What did he say? I forgot what he said. That's probably pretty bad, actually. But I don't want to get into it. Casper was a good guy. Let's just say that.
Casper would not get the head coaching job at any university. I don't think he'd get the head coaching job at any public university in Texas.
No.
So,
no, I don't think so.
You know, his collegiate coaching career is probably about done, at least as a head coach. He might get some D2 pick him up as an assistant coach, but
I think that Beard would be my number one pick for Texas. And then after that, you got to start making those like Hail Mary throws, maybe into the NBA. Maybe you try to go get an NBA assistant coach. I know KD has a guy who he's kind of handpicked to be the Texas dude. But look, the thing about Kevin Durant is I don't see him going on any recruiting trails. I don't see Kevin Durant showing up at like 17, 18-year-olds' houses asking them to come play at the University of Texas.
It'd mean a lot to me if you,
Exactly. As a booster and as somebody like, now, I'm not a booster, but if I was a booster for basketball, I'd be like, who the hell cares what KD wants? Like, I'm the one paying this guy's paycheck. Why do I care what Kevin Durant wants? So, yeah, Chris Beard would be my number one option.
All right, women's basketball. Is anyone beating UConn?
I hope not. I hope not.
That Page girl's pretty legit, huh?
Yeah. What's funny is that she can't go to the league. It's kind of like the NFL where we're like, you know how every year there's like a really good freshman quarterback and we're like, I bet he could start in the NFL. And then we don't get to see it for 3 years. Well, the WNBA rules, if I'm to be correct, I think I'm correct on this. You have to be 22 years old in the year that you're going to get drafted, right? The calendar year you're going to get drafted. So
that's weird.
she is a freshman. I think she's like 18 or 19. So she's not going to get to go pro for a little while.
That's an odd rule. I don't know why that is.
So UConn's going to keep winning then is what you're saying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure. They went from like Sue Bird to Stewie to Maya Moore was in there. And now they have another one. And of course, like it's any program. Any college program, if you're winning, you're going to get the best athletes. Clemson, Alabama, Notre Dame. It just goes down the list. So, like,
winning helps. Winning helps.
So, what Gino's been able to do there is just beyond incredible. Like, he is the closest thing we're going to get to, probably the closest thing we're ever going to get to one of these like iconic coaches in women's sports. Like, he's going to be the we talk about Saban and Belichick and stuff. He is the George Washington on the Mount Rushmore of female head coach or female coaching jobs in female sports.
And it's like not even really close, like at all. No,
I don't think it is either. Like I've tried to think about that, and like I don't think I really I don't know.
Well,
I think
and like to the common sports fan, how many women basketball coaches, legends, are they just a common sports fan going to be able to name? But they're going to know him.
Well, that one girl.
Yeah, there you go, Parker.
Nailed it on
that one girl that had the thing at Tennessee. She's dead now, I think.
I was going to say, didn't she die?
Yeah, of Alzheimer's. I think it was Pat Sullivan. I think that's what.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Can I say tits again?
You kind of already did. So.
Well, I like women's sports. They're competitive. They shoot a lot of threes. Fundamentally sound.
I had to copy Parker. He had the baseball player behind him from last week's show, so I had to pull up Uncle Mike. Tomorrow is opening day. Baseball is officially back. Somehow we're actually going to play a real season, not that little league crap we played last year. And I am over the moon about it. The Astros are going to be starting now. Of course, in true Houston Astros fashion, we're going to start opening day at 9 p.m. because we're on the West Coast playing Oakland.
Yeah, that sucks.
So that's great.
How do you how are you are the Astros defending division champs and they have to start on the road?
Did they won the AL West
division last year?
They were the wild card team last year, but they did.
Oakland won the division.
But they won so Oakland's actually favored to win again, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know why.
I saw
they
something
are.
saying the Angels were.
I saw where like Oakland was a higher percentage to win the World Series than the Astros or something. If you're looking at betting odds, but
I have the betting odds open. I've got the betting odds open right here for you, Parker. Would you like to guess the Athletics championship odds?
Oh, okay. Like 1 to something, you mean? Like 1 out of 1,000?
So I'll give you the Astros. And
okay,
then
give me the Astros.
You can guess the Athletics. I'll give you the Astros. The Astros are 22-1 odd favorites to win the championship this year.
22-1. So the A's are probably like 16-1.
No.
50-1.
50-1? Jeez, no.
They're better than the Astros, I would think.
No.
They're not?
They got worse odds than the Astros.
Pitching. They don't have the pitching.
I saw something where they were better than the Astros. I guess it was a while back.
I think they're
it's close.
I think they're
close.
projected
30-1 then. 30-1.
It's 25-1. They
Okay.
got 25-1 odds. They have the same odds as the Tampa Bay Rays.
Oh, so the Astros are ahead of Tampa
Put my
too.
Stimmy on the Rangers. Hey, what happened? What happened to Odor? What happened there? The Rangers cut
Odor.
Their superstar.
Oh, you're talking to
baseman.
Brendan. Poor
Would
Brendan.
you like to? Okay, that fan here it is. I'll give you the 4 worst championship odds.
The Rangers are one of them.
Starting at number 4, the Kansas City Royals are 100-1 to win the championship this year.
Woo!
The
Hey,
Seattle
Bobby Witt's
Mariners,
legit, bro. He's only
Talk
like
about
Seattle
dropping
Mariners,
off.
100-1 to win the championship this year. Your Texas Rangers, 150-1.
150-1.
So you're saying there's a chance.
And the Pittsburgh Pirates have the worst odds to win the championship this year at 200-1.
Hey, at least the Rangers aren't playing baseball in a microwave this year. That might help. It didn't help much in the 62-game season, though.
I mean, if you suck, you suck. You know.
Mimic Maid Park might not save them much.
That's a good
Minute
one.
Maid 2. Minute Maid 2, actually.
I like Mimic Maid Park a lot better.
Oh,
really
that's what
good.
you said.
I refuse
Okay.
to call it anything else. Mimic Maid Park. It looks just like it. I'm sorry. Like if you like, you like look at the details, you're like, oh, see, that's different. But if you
Wait.
showed me 2 pictures, my brain's immediately, oh, that's Minute Maid. And then, oh wait,
Well,
no,
they
it's
don't
not.
have a
And you look at the
train,
little-
Reed. They don't have a train. God.
They probably
You
run
didn't
one
put
in the
that
locker
into
room after
account.
games.
I don't
Anyway,
know what genius at the Rangers didn't let Nolan Ryan buy a stake of the team, because that honestly, that's what I would do. Like if I was the owner of the Rangers and I heard that Nolan Ryan wants to buy a stake of a team, I'd be like, yeah, no, buy a stake of our team, not the other guy's team,
Yeah.
because he played for both of the Texas teams, right?
Yeah, he played for the Astros first, then he went to the Rangers.
he actually played longer for the Astros.
I think he did play long. The reason there was a falling out with Astros ownership at the time, that's kind of the whole reason he didn't.
Sounds
Like you
familiar.
say, he has the Rangers. He's wearing the Rangers cap in the Hall of Fame because I think
really.
He
Yes,
threw more.
because-
I think he threw more no hitters in the Rangers uniform.
I heard there was a falling out with Astros ownership at the time, and that's why he didn't side with the Rangers. Oh, he didn't side with the Astros. He sided with the Rangers because of all the drama.
And then now they're at ends again because they fired his son, and
Yeah.
there was a lot of drama there. So now he's not in with either of them.
He's always going to be more of a Rangers fan now because of all that stuff. But I mean, we did have Reed Ryan for a while. I mean, we had his son, like you said. So
and
I
they
mean,
fired his ass, and now
I
he's
think he
working for
cares.
Round
I
Rock.
think I think he cared about both of them for a while. But now he's all Rangers, I'm sure.
Andrew, you're a man of many jerseys. That's one thing I remember about you very clearly from college, and you almost every time I saw you wearing a different jersey, whether it be NBA, whether it be MLB. And correct me if I'm wrong, your 2 MLB teams are the Minnesota Twins and the New York Yankees.
Which I wanted to, let's bring those odds up again, because I was very interested in seeing.
Yeah,
the
where do
Twins
the
are gonna be a
Yankees
pretty good
stand?
team this
Because
year.
the Twins right now are just a little bit ahead of the Astros when it comes to World Series odds. They are 18-1. 18-1 odds to win the World
They
Series.
got a
See,
hell
I'm
of a
confused.
lineup, man. They got
I'm
a hell of a
confused.
lineup over there in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Now is the pitching
Okay.
going to be there though?
The ALCS, the team that Vegas thinks is going to win the American League this year is the Yankees. Right
Of
now,
course.
they're 12-2 odds or 11-2 odds to win the championship this year.
And the Dodgers will win the NL,
Okay, but let's be
according
honest.
to Vegas, I'm sure.
The Yankees could like fall off a cliff and lose half their team and still be
Yeah.
the favorites to win the
Oh,
NL.
you can count on LA and New York always being the favorites recently, from recent history at least.
Yeah,
As
it's
long
a
as I've been
pain.
alive. As long as
It's a
I've been
pain.
alive, that's been the way. And it stinks for like Toronto and Minnesota and teams like that who are just spend their entire like Tampa. They've always been pretty good. And, like,
Middle America, man.
But they
Middle
just can't-
America
they can't
needs to
get
make
over
a
those
comeback.
Hey, at least Boston sucks right now. That's. Did you see the article
yeah.
on Andrew Benintendi?
No.
Was it the one in ESPN?
So basically, going into I think it was 2019, he on his own completely changed his swing. The year after he won he was an all-star and was one of the best hitters. He went out, added beef, got bigger because he wanted to become a home run hitter. He's always been a contact, high on base type guy, like 20 homers at the max. He wanted to become a power hitter, so he went and added all this beef and changed his swing. And in 2019, 2020, he was just striking out like crazy. So he went from this all-star level player to under replacement. So there was this really interesting article about how he went out and did that on his own, and that's essentially what ruined his career and why he's playing. I think he's in Kansas. No, is he in Kansas City or he's either in Kansas City or Chicago?
Mm-hmm.
I think
He's
in
playing
Kansas City.
somewhere. He's playing somewhere where he's not on television every night. That's
I
what
think
you're
he's in
telling me.
Kansas City. I'm pretty sure he's in Kansas City.
That's tough.
But I
That's-
remember his name being floated around, and I was like, "Ooh, the Astros! I'd love to see him, and he'd be a good matchup." And then I researched it more, and I was like, "What the heck happened to this dude? He fell off a cliff. He went from being such a good player to irrelevant like that." And apparently, it's because he went out of his way to try to become this, launch angle power hitter. And it just and that's an issue that Jose Altuve's had. He's tried to become this, hit the ball in the air type guy. We talked about this in the last show. He especially if they're going to lead him off this year, which it seems like they are. He needs to get back to hitting the ball on the ground, and that's what made Benintendi good.
He needs
and
to go back to hitting the ball. That's the Altuve's problem.
and stop swinging
Like,
at freaking curveballs.
yeah, last year I was the first year that you could see some slippage. I thought like
No,
on
you're
the
right.
field, like just eye test, not any advanced analytics stuff, where you could just see slippage in Altuve.
Well, the
which makes
stats weren't as
sense.
good either. Yeah, the stats weren't as good either.
He was also
Yeah.
way below replacement defensively. He hit
Yeah.
Yeah,
terrible.
that's what I was gonna say. It's 'cause,
And it
like,
was
if
all a mental thing. It was all a mental thing. You could look at the way he handled the scandal. He took it very personally.
as he should,
Bregman took it very personally.
as he should.
Correa said,
Altuve didn't
"Screw
cheat.
you
I will
guys."
stand by that.
Correa said, "Screw you guys. Screw you, Andrew Zimmel. I'm gonna go out and have a great playoffs," and he did. And
Not
Correa
demand
did not.
$300 million and not sign
Correa
him.
did not take it personally, and he took it personally in the right way. He capitalized on it. He said, "We don't give a crap what you say. We're going to go out there and start balling." And I mean, hey, you can take it two ways. You can pout about it, or you can play baseball. There's 162 games now. Has a chance to right his wrongs. Hopefully, whatever you feel about it, the championship still, the banner's still hung up on Minute Maid Park. You can Google 2017 World Champions. It's still there. Google says it is, so it's a real thing, Andrew. You can't erase Google. So
You guys are UC Trojan fans after the scandal with Reggie Bush. That's what this is. this is what this is. Look, I at this point with the Astros, I don't really care that much anymore. They've lost enough of the pieces from that dominant run that they had. There's that 4-year run where, you know, they were the best team in baseball or one of the best teams in baseball. I think they've
how are they
fallen
not
off.
still one of the best teams? They put the Tampa Rays to 7
Well, the
games.
pitching is just not there.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
pitching's-
well, last
the
year they were
lineup-
still.
outside
mean-
of Springer, that lineup is still one of the
Okay,
best, if
well,
not
I
the
was
best
just
in the league. But
well, I was just gonna say last year they still took the Rays to 7 games in the ALCS. I mean, that's
yeah, because they had a
top-
bunch of
top
rookies
four.
step up.
Yeah,
top four.
well,
I know, but
I was
still
gonna say
happened.
though, we just talked about the Rays. The Rays title odds this year aren't that good. That was a COVID year. You know what I mean? Like the Rays and
Okay.
the
I mean,
Rays
they were
and
still-
the Miami
okay,
Heat are kind
let me
of
ask you
still
this
a
then.
solid
in
team.
Let me ask
category
you this
here.
They
then.
were still a solid
Piggybacking
team.
on what you just said, I'm interested on your take on this. Was the LA Dodgers title legit? Does it count?
If
I
it's
mean,
a
it
COVID year,
counts.
Does it hold weight?
It does not hold as much weight as other titles.
I agree with that too, because you're not playing in front of a crowd. You're not really in like, okay, you have a playoff game. It's not like going into Yankee Stadium or Minute Maid Park or wherever.
Do not compare.
Oh
the
no,
two.
I will compare. Minute Maid Park gets rocking when you close that roof. Minute Maid Park was rocking in the playoffs when they're winning game. Man, okay, whatever. Fine, Yankee Stadium, Fenway Park. I'll compare
Yeah.
those. When you go
Wrigley.
into places like that, because of history, I compare that. You go into a place like that, you have to deal with the crowd. The New York crowd is ruthless. Ruthless. You didn't have to deal with any of that crap if you're winning in the playoffs last year. You were in a bubble. You didn't have to worry about anything. So, yeah, I agree with that. The
I will
crowd
say-
definitely makes a difference.
As far as the Yankees towards like Yankee Stadium towards Minute Maid, as someone who's been to both when they're both pretty full, there's a difference, okay? Minute Maid gets loud. Like especially when they close the roof, it's one of the loudest stadiums in baseball. I don't think you can dispute that. Here's the difference though. When Astros fans and that stadium gets popping, it's more like cheering on the Astros. When the Yankees get popping, they're insulting your family, they're insulting your grandmother. Like it's very personal. Like that's the difference. So that's why Yankee Stadium is the Yankees, dude, wherever we went, it was I think it was like 2015, 2014. It was Derek Jeter's last year. So I got to see Derek Jeter play. They booed every single player but Derek Jeter on their team that year. And I think they were like an 80-win, 90-win team. Like they weren't
They
bad.
deserved it. They
And
deserved it.
that's-
Look, Yankee pedigree, guys. It's not 80 wins or 90 wins. It's 114. That 114's on the board every year, and they're trying to pass it, baby. So it's, they say like other teams hang division banners or like
Yeah.
conference banners. Yankee Stadium, they put World Series banners up. You know what I
Well,
mean?
that's why it's always fun to beat the Yankees. It's always an extra little added motivation. And to beat them.
I'm more of now a rooting against the Mets because Pete
Why are the
Alonso,
Mets even on your radar? The Mets are just
because they're pretty good.
They're going to be
pretty
pretty good this year. They're going to be
Oh,
really
they
good.
but I know a Mets fan who's been a Mets fan, all his life, and he always says they're going to be pretty good, and they never really are.
It's different this year, man.
I'm gonna say it's. I think it's gonna be a little different this year. And Pete Alonso was on it. Didn't interview
How is it
today.
different this year? How is it different?
Well, you're gonna be playing in front of a new owner, and this new owner didn't say like he's gonna spend money, and I think that the Mets, even if they made, because they made some transactions this offseason, and Reed, you probably have them off the top of your head better than I do. They made some transactions this offseason, and I know this owner is willing to put money in. It's kind of like that too, because at some point an arm's going to get tired, somebody's going to get hurt, and you're going to see it in the training and the coming back, because they're going to have nicer crap. Like the Yankees never like, oh, we got to scrounge some money together to get a new trainer or a new cryo fit deal or whatever. Where the Mets,
no, they're never sure.
The Mets for the longest time, they kind of were like that. They didn't have an owner that wanted to spend any money, and they kind of were. But now they have guys. I think they have guys in place this year that
that
if
is a
somebody
big
gets hurt,
difference. Money does count.
Mm-hmm,
well, and they've always had the pitching. It's just come down to can those pitchers stay healthy, and that's going to be key for them again, right? Is can those guys stay healthy? But I mean, when you go over their roster, I mean, I forgot they added Joey Lucchesi this offseason. That dude's legit. Trevor May's a really good reliever. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm looking through their roster, and there's like 2 pitchers I've like never seen their names before. The rest of them, they're established. They added James McCann, so they've got the catcher that they really need, and they've got some other guys that are really interesting to me.
So they should beat the Braves in the NL East, right? I mean, they should.
Obviously,
so you're taking your Mets over the Braves?
Well, that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be a fun one to watch.
I'm just saying, put your money where your mouth is on the Mets.
I'm hoping. Well, it's two-parter, Parker. It's two-parter here, because part one is that the Yankees need to be healthy. They need to stay healthy. Guys like Garrett Cole can't get hurt. Guys like Stanton and Judge can't miss like a third of the season this year. That's part A. Part B is if part A falls and the Mets have like an okay season, it's a really weird time that the Mets could take over and be like the team.
Oh, so you're talking about as a form of, but you're talking about like kind of like when the Lakers were kind of in that weird funk and the Clippers were doing really good in LA. Mm-hmm. Okay, I got you. But the Mets could win some fans over. I meant as like, are they going to be like a playoff team?
Oh, yeah.
Are they gonna?
Yeah, they'll be.
They'll be a playoff team. I think that the Braves to me. The Braves to me this year are going to be really good. They're going to be a 95 win team.
Okay.
And it's like I think their biggest problem is going to be youth. I think there's going to be like this deal where Braves they're either going to win a bunch of games or they're going to lose a bunch of games, and they're not going to know how to deal with it. You know what I mean? Like if you have like the Astros this year, I could just compare them to the Astros. The Astros this year, if they win 7 games in a row, you know that they're not going to be a team that's like, wow, we're really great. We're good to go. If they lose 7 games in a row, they're not going to be a team that loses another 7 and goes on like exactly.
Yeah.
I think the Braves have a little bit of youth, and if they have a really good stretch, really good month, that might not do them good in the long run. I don't know. I like the Nationals too. So that division, I said,
it's a tough division. That's why I was wondering.
That division last year is probably the best division in the.
That's
season.
what
the
Brandon was
Nationals,
saying in the chat. And he's
I guess the
100%
Nationals and the Braves could both make it, and the Mets could still struggle getting in. I don't know, but they could be wild.
Hey, you got to remember though, and I completely forgot about this. The Braves have Chuck Nasty, and I ain't ever betting against Chuck Nasty.
Oh, Charlie Morton, baby, and
Chuck
I mean,
Nasty.
he was part of the reasons. I mean, he really was. I mean, he's a hard guy to play against, especially in the playoffs. He turns it up in the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, so that'll be a very interesting division. But yeah, let's talk about one more thing, Parker. This might be more you and me, but I'm sure Andrew's got something to say about it. Today was Carlos Correa's last day that he was giving the Houston Astros that he was going to negotiate an extension. He said he wanted to sign before opening day, and he wasn't going to negotiate during the season because he didn't want any distractions. He wants to put up because obviously, right? Because if he goes and puts up MVP numbers, then all of a sudden, because I mean, we're seeing Lindor. What did Lindor turn down? 325 today or the other day?
Over 10.
Was this for 10? I mean, I don't think Correa has the track record of like success to demand quite that much. but I think he has every right to be going to the 250, 275 range. And unless the Astros can get him to sign a 10-year deal where they can really stretch it out and maybe even backload it, that's going to be a stretch. Because, I mean, you've got Bregman on a pretty big deal. Altuve's got a deal coming to an end here in the next year or two. You're probably going to have to re-sign him, assuming
Do you
he gets
re-sign
back to old
Altuve?
form. If he gets back to old form, I would. But if he continues playing like he did in 20, I think he's going to resurge. I really do. He's looked a lot better in spring training. And now, obviously,
What's a
spring training.
resurge to you?
Well, he's looked a lot better at the plate. I think he's in. And another thing, I don't even know if you know this. He had a lot of deaths in the family in 2020. So
We all did. It was COVID.
Well, yes.
Everybody
but
had shit going on.
you add that on to
COVID's
you add that
not
on to
even
the whole
real.
World Series thing. He was just in a
just kidding.
bad mental state. Like,
All right,
terrible.
that's fair. All right, so say I think his career batting average is what, like 310?
It's up there. Yeah.
Okay, so would you say that anything less than like 285, probably you're looking at slippage?
Especially if the defense doesn't improve. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
'cause
looking
he's-
at him.
yeah,
I
he
was
gets
looking at him
300
as the
easy.
guy who somebody's going to sign, probably the Angels, to like a 7-year, something stupid type of contract, and just because like Jose Altuve, he still has something in the tank.
He's been
And I'm
one of
thinking
the
like
best.
the Astros, a team that has used the money ball formula to like a T. I don't know why they would sign a guy to more than a 5-year contract, especially at his age too. Like why you would sign him to anything more than like a 5 to 7 year deal. And maybe he takes a club discount, but I would be more concerned. Like you're talking about Correa right now. I don't understand this deal with pro athletes where they don't want to negotiate during the season.
I don't
because
disagree.
They have an agent. They're not
Yeah.
going to the owner's box. They're not breaking this down. The agent is. So I don't get that at all.
Well,
I
and
don't
also
disagree, but that's just
yeah.
the deadline that he set, and he seems pretty set on it.
That's
So-
it's not to say that the agent is just gonna, okay, Carlos, we're not gonna negotiate, and then all of a sudden he's gonna go up to Jim Crane and be like, okay, here, we're gonna negotiate, because the agent's trying to get money too. You know, the
Oh, yeah.
agent's trying to squeeze Jim Crane out of every cent, and he may not listen wholehearted. I mean, he may, wink, wink, listen to Correa, but at the end of the day, he's still gonna have those private texts, those private conversations with James Click and
See,
Crane and all those guys.
You almost said
I would
Luno.
be-
And I almost
I would-
did. If it was Lunau, we would have already had this deal taken care of and would have been fine.
We'd also
But,
have won 2 more World Series because we'd probably still be cheating.
Yeah.
I would be
But
an
apparently
awful GM.
Jim Crane didn't know about the cheating, so now we're good.
Mm.
Jim Crane didn't know about it.
Oh, magically. It's funny how
We're
that
on,
works.
we're on,
so
we're
no
on the
one
right
else in
track
league-
now.
No
'Cause
one else
it's
in the
not-
league knows anything about it until
It's kind of like when you're the owner of something and you don't take ownership of what your franchise did, and you just pass the blame down. Shit slides downhill. Learning about that in real life too, actually.
How much money does Mattress Mac put on the Cougars to win the title?
Oh, you know what? I haven't even heard anything about the Cougars with him in the title but I know he bets. Here's how he does it, and he wins money either way because he gets these sales. If he bets this money, and then he has like, if they win, we're going on sale.
1 million.
And so he bets that money. And so
Just an
if
easy
they
mail.
win, he still gets his money he would get off the sales. And if they don't win, then the sale's over and he charges full price.
it's advertising.
So either way, Mattress Mac, it's a genius. It's genius marketing. Either way, he wins and he looks good. I mean, he's repping his team, but yeah, he's probably going to put a whole lot of money. I don't
And he
know if he's done much with
capitalized-
the Cougars.
He capitalized so much on back during the hurricane. I know it's terrible to say
Oh yeah,
capitalized.
and the Astros.
But he did
And the
because there was
Astros.
that. What's that one preacher's name who like refused to
Joel
open his
Osteen.
church? Yeah, and then like the exact same time, Mattress Mac comes out. Hey, come sleep on our mattresses. Hey, come get clothes. Come get food. You know, like-
Two types
and
of
now
people
all
in
of a
this
sudden,
world.
he's the hero. No matter pretty much no matter what he does. He's like 75.
Well, he was
man,
he was a very popular guy in Houston way before that. He's been popular for a very long time, but that definitely helped. Mattress Mac is just one of the Houston icons. I mean, he's been around forever.
he knows what he's doing too, as far
Yeah.
as staying.
Houston-
in,
Well, they need mattresses.
Megan Thee Stallion,
Hurricane, the mattresses
Paul
got
Wall.
wet.
Paul Wall. Paul Wall's
People
still
need
making
mattresses.
bangers.
I haven't heard a song from Paul Wall in a while.
Grills
Not
is
looking in the
still
right spots,
fire.
guys.
Grills is still fire. But yeah, I mean, as far as Correa, I'm hoping that deal gets done. I'm hoping like in like 10 minutes into the show, I get a little pop up saying that Correa signs, whatever. I don't know. I don't see it happening. I hope that they do negotiate throughout the season, or maybe even before free agency, because he's due to be a free agent, and if you look at the free agent class, he's probably going to headline it, and it's not even close. So
where would he sign if he wasn't the Astros? Who would give him the most money?
and that's the thing, because you feel like he's burned a lot of bridges, right? Like I don't think LA has enough like a moral compass to care. Like they're probably still going to sign him if they had the money to.
You talking about the Angels?
No, the Dodgers.
Oh, okay.
I don't think the Dodgers give two
Why would the Dodgers need Correa? Hold on a second. The Dodgers have a really good team right now.
But that's never stopped them before from spending money that they don't need to spend.
Okay, there's only 9 positions on the field, though. You know what I mean? Like, there's only 9 spots.
Justin Turner's
in the
getting old.
So you replace Justin Turner.
I mean,
With
Correa, he's not a shortstop.
Definitely
He's a
more
third
of a third
baseman.
baseman.
Yeah,
but
that's
Put
what I'm
Correa
saying.
at third base?
Correa, by the time Correa is 32, 33 years old, he's going to be playing third base. I'm telling you that right now.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. And to be honest, if you look at it, it makes sense. He's got a cannon arm. He profiles more at third. But
Well,
just
I
because
saw
of the
a
way
thing
that
with
they've
him and
got
the
things set
Dodgers.
up and the way they do their shifts, because like I mean Bregman plays third, but 40-50% of the time he's playing shortstop because of the way
Yeah.
they shift people, and then they'll put Correa basically in like short center field where you need to make the longest throws. So like right now it makes sense, but if he's to go to another team where you've already got Corey Seager, where you already got Francisco Lindor, whoever you've got, maybe because there's so many good shortstops, he makes a lot of sense at third. So, you know,
that was like a non-answer. So you're saying the Dodgers.
Dodgers, Boston, because they're always desperate to get big players and they've always got money. The Yankees, of course. Who do the Yankees have a third?
Doesn't matter.
Andujar?
I don't want Correa.
Miguel Andujar.
That's what we were saying. He burned a. That's what we were saying about Correa.
He's burned
He
bridges.
literally told everyone else to F off, shut up if you don't know what you're talking about. And now this is the guy you're gonna put in the same locker room
Which
with
is
other
why
people.
you've got to sign him.
I mean, I get it. I get it that everybody can hold hands now. You know, sportsmanship, whatever. But competition is still competition. I mean, I'm not gonna have someone that just told me to F off and him coming in here and being like, okay, now all of a sudden he's not a cheater anymore. He's not. You know, he was just horrible thing, and now all of a sudden he's not. Like the way the media has covered George Springer. All of a sudden, George Springer's a golden child now in Toronto. Like he did nothing
But you see
wrong.
that he's starting the year on the IL?
Really? I didn't see that.
Oblique strain, which is something he always dealt with in Houston too, but he never
Well,
to start
good.
the year.
Toronto can enjoy that now.
So
Yeah,
no
he had
leadoff being
a
don't feel-
masseuse. I thought that was weird. I remember when he pulled like an oblique or pulled like a rib muscle, and he was having like a masseuse every other like week. I was reading about George Springer getting massages, and I was like, why is this a thing?
Well, yeah, and I don't know
It's
why
like
it's
Correa
because
has
every
freaking
athlete
ribs
gets
broken.
massages.
Getting a massage a couple years ago. That was weird.
Yeah.
I saw Deshaun Watson walking out of another massage parlor the other day in Pearland. I was driving
he
by
wearing
and
shorts?
it was a Thai massage spectacular was the name of the place, and it was right by a Burger King, so pretty good joint. I was on my way to get Whoppers, 2 for $5 Whoppers. If you want to get it, you can. It's a great deal.
Not a sponsor, by the way.
Not just one Whopper, but 2 Whoppers, $5 right on the line. Very, very helpful. So yeah, I saw him coming out. I said hey to him, but then another car kind of cut me off, and he kept walking, and he eventually started running. I had my Whoppers in my hand. I wasn't going to go after him, but yeah, he's still getting his things. Everybody has massages. Everybody loves getting massages. I don't see the big deal. Why is it newsworthy? How many people massage to? People get massages.
It probably
every day.
wasn't until the Deshaun Watson situation, and now all of a sudden you got to
People
figure
care
out who
about
those
massages
masseuses
now. It's
are.
like massage life. I mean, I'm okay. Well, it happens. It's life.
Andrew, NFL drafts right around the corner. You're a big NFL guy as well, and all these pro days have been happening. And, you know, we're hearing, we hear it every year, but with Justin Fields, it's the best pro day I've ever seen, and you know, and of course Trey Lance is apparently throwing some bombs. Have you seen anything from what you've seen from these pro days that is noteworthy, or is it just a bunch of mumbo jumbo pre-NFL draft talk?
So I felt really bad for Trey Lance because I'm up here in North Dakota, right? So North Dakota State is the premier like school up here. People really like it. And then UND also has a football team that I'm a big fan of. But so NDSU, they have their pro day. And I was like super excited for Trey Lance because he had a couple really good throws. I don't think he ran the 40, but he looked pretty good. He got like maybe 2 days worth of buzz before it was, well, Mac Jones and, Zach Wilson. I feel really bad for that guy because whoever drafts Zach Wilson is going to get an eye opener to me. I think that he's probably right now the most overrated quarterback in this draft because of the stuff he was able to do at his pro day. Mac Jones is looking more and more like the number 3 overall pick. People are talking about him going to the 49ers, and I need to see something. I need to see one of two things here. I either need to see the combine where Mac Jones actually gets timed and isn't running like a 4.4 or 4.3, and I need to see him actually like throw consistent passes in a combine type setting, because all a pro day is just a very well recited workout. You know what I mean? And Instagram models do that every day for likes on Instagram. Just very good.
They're really good at it.
Let me ask you this: with Mac Jones, I get such AJ McCarron vibes from him, where it's
big difference here. Big difference here. So Mac Jones is like, to me, he reminds me most of. He's got more Baker Mayfield in him than he has Tom Brady. If that makes any sense.
Put a ring on him now, baby. Baker.
Yeah. I think that Mac Jones is going to be, wherever he goes, he's going to be a fun guy. He's going to get along with teammates. He's going to be good. Like the whatever locker room he goes in, he's going to be the guy. Whereas like Tom Brady, it took him a long time to kind of like have his teammates buy in. Like they liked him when he was a rookie, but when he was a starting quarterback, he totally controlled that team in New England. And I see Mac Jones as a guy who's a little bit more reckless, a little bit less polished. He was playing behind 5 future NFL offensive linemen. He was playing next to a first-round running back. He's not thrown to anything but NFL wide receivers, and he's looked at nothing but really good defenses. So he's got the best pedigree to me. But at the same time, like, I need to see the combine. I want to see a little bit more combine before I put my stamp of approval on Mac Jones. Because right now it's Trevor Lawrence. It's still Trevor Lawrence and everybody else. There's not a quarterback or another player in this draft, in my opinion, that I would pick over Lawrence at 1.
That's fair.
I think that's kind of the consensus. He's just
that's how I feel.
It's that much better than everybody else in the draft.
It's going to be Jacksonville is going to be the most interesting team to watch next year, because not only are they going to have Trevor Lawrence, who has been compared to not only Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, and John Elway as one of the best, college to NFL quarterbacks ever, right? But he's going to be going to a place where there's not a ton of talent, in my opinion. He's not going to somewhere where there's like a bunch of weapons. He's not going to somewhere where there's a great offensive
It's not a great scenario for him
Chark's
to just jump into Jacksonville.
But okay, are you gonna take your wagon and attach it to him?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm just
No, it's a sad situation. These guys have to jump into Jacksonville, and
he also has a coach that's never coached in the NFL before.
That always helps. That helps.
Who's never coached in the NFL. So it's like there's a lot of red flags to me with him, and just that situation he's going in. Not with him, but like the situation he's going into. I'd be curious. Jacksonville's going to be the most interesting team, because to me, they really could make a move here for a team that has a late first round or an early second round pick to trade Gardner Minshew for a second round pick in this year's draft and try to go get a wide receiver or go get a offensive lineman to pair with Trevor Lawrence.
Who's going to trade for Gardner, though? I don't think many teams are sold on him. It didn't seem like many people in period.
I don't know. Yeah.
I can think of one team right off the top of my head that needs a quarterback. New England. New England needs a quarterback.
I thought you were going to say Houston.
No. Well, Houston doesn't have any picks.
Hey, Gardner would rock it in Houston as far as his personality, though. I don't think his personality would match New England, but I mean, you're right about them needing a quarterback. Didn't they re-sign Cam, though? And I know Cam had a very unspectacular year, but it still seems to be the guy there. Although I've heard rumors of Billy going after Jimmy Garoppolo.
I don't know. I don't think Cam's a long-term solution, and Gardner Minshew is a young guy who you can sign on cheap and have around. And Cam is Cam. Cam can get hurt. I love the guy. NFL MVP, future Hall of Famer probably, but I don't know if I'm giving him the keys and being like,
hey, you're the guy.
You need to go win us, 9 games? because there's a 17-game season this year.
17 games, yeah.
What do you make of that, by the way? That was interesting. That seems like a random adjustment.
Jerry Jones wins again, man. He saw all of the 8-8 jokes on Twitter and said, well, the one way to make sure we don't go 8-8, have 17 games.
Yeah,
They're gonna
baby.
tie. No, they're going to tie. I got to be 8-8-1 now. Just watch.
Yeah, can't.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That'd be torture is what it would be.
Can't go 500 if there's an odd number of
love it.
games.
Jerry Jones just pulling the strings again. That's really all I have for y'all. So unless y'all have something else y'all want to chat about.
No, man. It's been good catching up with you, Andrew. And keep on trucking in North Dakota. And don't just say hi to random truckers, Andrew. I got to tell you about that. So if you see any random truckers again, just be a little weary. They like picking up young boys on the road in the snow. So be careful about that. But love you, bud. Thanks for coming on.
Where can people find you?
In Beulah, North Dakota.
just at
on my way.
Just come on out there. We do need to make a trip while you're up there at some point.
It is beautiful. We talked a little bit about you talking about the culture shock, and that's what we'll end on this, the culture shock deal. It is so much like Kerrville or Bandera or Hondo. Like, you guys don't even know. It's super small town.
So it's like a super, rural kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like I'm in this town. There's another town 15 minutes away. There's another town 30 minutes away. So it kind of feels like I'm living in like the hill country again, it's all high school football all the time, all high school baseball, high school basketball all the time. All these kids are super competitive. The biggest culture shock though is at Texas State, super diverse. I loved it. I loved every nanosecond.
Not a whole lot of diversity up there, I'm guessing.
I wake up every morning and look at people who look exactly like
whiteness overload. No, yeah. Texas is great. Texas is and that's part of what I like about Houston too. I mean, anywhere you go, you're going to see 1,000 different, types of people. Mm-hmm. It's different. It's, coming from small towns and being in the big cities now, I've kind of gotten a good mix of both. And San Marcos was a great, depiction of that because they really all just came to that hub. The diversity it's nice to have that because, I get tired of looking at just other old, fat white guys. I mean, I like to be the fat white guy in the group because then they say, oh, yeah, what does the fat white guy think? And then I can expand. But
when has anybody ever said that to you, Parker?
They ask me.
What does the white guy think about? Fat white guy opinion?
They ask me all the time. I say, hey, we talk about any kind of sensitive topic. They always come to me first. And I give them my opinion. And
sensitive topic, you mean like Crocs on or off? Is that like sensitive topic?
Yeah, no.
You think Parker's ever put his Crocs in four-wheel drive mode, sport mode?
Yeah. Rec softball league. That's what you need to get into, Parker. Here.
I was in softball for a while. I would hit the ball, and then someone else would run the bases for me.
What are you, the Bambino?
I don't have to run the bases. Get someone else to do it. Let the kids have fun.
Oh,
that's not the 4x4.
Let the kids play.
I think that's what we're going to end it on. Andrew, again, thanks for joining. Love to have you on again sometime in the future. 1203 Experience. Another episode is done. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Have a good weekend.